Hello. Hello, everyone. Just a few more minutes so we gather around the hearth. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Liliana. Hi, Dia. I hope I get your name right. Hello, Muriel. Welcome. Soon we'll have Claudia joining us. She's still in traffic. But just slowly connect to this space and time. I hope you can hear the crackling of the fire that I have started here where I am, for all of us, in a nice old stove. Hello, Claudia, welcome. Hi, everyone.
Hello, dear beautiful people. Can you hear me well, Liana?
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear you.
wonderful. Thank you so much.
We were just sitting for a few more minutes for people to gather. We were welcoming this beautiful autumn energy still. I hope you enjoy the warm light of the autumn sky and sun.
I love it.
Yes, it's so beautiful.
I apologize for being driving right now. I could not avoid it. If there is background noise, so sorry while I speak. So maybe I will speak less until I reach home. But yes, I love the light of the autumn. I love all the colors that are coming towards us.
Yes. Welcome, Shannon, Roberta, Orit. I see you've joined us. We have a beautiful, beautiful topic today in this wondrous energy of the 48 Jinki. Maybe we'll touch a bit on that as well. I will also a bit later put in the chat the place where you can find this transmission of Richard about the ecstasy of fondness. And just for us to align a bit with our center and with the now and the here, we'll do just a small attunement. If everybody can find a comfortable position wherever you are. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. Otherwise, if you feel like, you can close your eyes. And we just let this beautiful softness and this beautiful evanescence of autumn frequency and vibration to just go through our body. This beautiful amber-like light that we can see in the rays of the sun, the leaves. Sometimes we see it in the color of some flowers in autumn. This beautiful golden that is a bit warm. But sometimes we can see it in a cup of tea. And we let this warmth go through our body wherever we still need to relax a bit more, to soften a bit more, to open a bit more. And there's also a time of goodwill as we gather around our harvest, our inner riches of everything we've been through up until now. We breathe deeper And this light of autumn, this warm frequency, it's also an aspect of love, because in all these beautiful transmissions that we are approaching today and we did last time, it's all about love. And just see how love is present in you right now. Might be all forms of love. It might be this awe towards nature. It might be the good words or presence of a friend. It might be romantic love. It might be the love as a parent or the love as a child. It might be the love for self. And see how this is present in you now. And let this sensation just grow into your body. And we slowly align with the transmission of Hafez, the Sufi ecstatic. It doesn't matter that we know or we don't know what it's all about. We just bring his presence around our heart. And I will very much enjoy to hear his inspiration for you whenever you feel like it. Because as our other ecstatic that we've approached last time, this one is also present in our heart. So just take another deep breath and drink the wine of the beloved, the wine of inspiration, the wine of love. And we can just reconnect to the space, to ourselves. And we can start contemplating. So happy to be with you here. Welcome, welcome. So I will tell you just a few words about this beautiful ecstatic, and then I'll let Claudia to share her inspiration. I was actually I've met Hafez a long time ago. I was during high school when I've connected to Rumi, and then I found Hafez, and they were like brothers in transmission for me. But reconnecting with him again in this fusion with the Jinkies transmission, I found some other side of Hafez, and especially through the eyes and through the experience that Richard had with Hafez's poetry and transmission. It was like meeting him again, and I would deeply recommend you to listen to this beautiful Ecstasy of Fondness transmission, and also connect with Hafez's poetry. And I understood while listening to Richard why it has this timeless quality, and it goes deeper and deeper, just like the Jinkies transmission. Every time you reconnect with it, it shows you another face another perspective, another facet of the prism, as Richard was saying about Hafez's poetry. And it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And for me, it was when Richard said that every time you try to understand, or you try to find somewhere to follow Hafez in his poetry and find kind of a meaning, it usually changes. And Hafez himself has had so many facets. Like Richard was contemplating for a good while Hafez's poetry before recording this transmission on the Ecstasy of Fondness. And he said that, he could connect with Hafez the poet, and with Hafez the drunk, and with Hafez the lover, or with Hafez the friend, or with Hafez the master. And there are so many facets to his work. And also he managed to, even if Hafez comes from a lineage of great poets and great transmitters through poetry, he managed to transcend, to bring it a bit more beyond what is the bridge towards the divine. And he also was a human. Like we had a bit of love and drama happening in his life as well. It's a very, very interesting human life. And for me, it was this fusion of the divine with the human that was really striking. And I will leave you with something that Richard said about the quality of this ecstasy of fondness. Like we are used to think about ecstasy as being this huge, explosive experience, this bliss, this thing that takes us over. And with this ecstasy of fondness, Richard said that we can discover the ecstasy as being soft as a pillow, like this quality of friendship, of warmth, of coming together in a soft and encompassing space. And this is a quality that the transmission of Hafez has, reminding us of the friend. So this was my my inspiration up until now. I invite you to share anything you feel like. It is not about Hafez. Maybe you're connected with the Sufi transmission. Maybe Rumi has spoken to you, or maybe something from that lineage that has this beautiful quality of going beyond the rules, even going beyond the religion, and meeting the divine in a space that's outside even of what we know and what we think the ecstasy could be, or the meeting the divine could be. So it's actually a diving into the void, diving into this beautiful energy of the well. And the Sufis have managed to catch this kind of experience as much as it can be put into words, and also to immerse us, if we are open to this sacred transmission of meeting the divine through ecstasy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liana, for this beautiful introduction, the beautiful attunement, and also the heartfelt introduction, description, if we may call it description, yes, of Hafez. who is somehow undescribable, but beautiful. And it's, as I love the synchronicities, and I believe that we all love them. I see how beautiful it is because I'm just, I told you in the beginning that I am driving. I could not avoid to be in the car driving, but I love driving. I love the flow while driving, and I find it a synchronicity because I feel Hafez to be flow himself. He was flow anyway, so I could feel while you were doing the attunement and also the words about him. I could feel the flow, and what I would bring here is. It is so fast, this transmission that Richard does about Hafez, that we could speak. I mean, 1 hour is not sufficient for sure, but the richness can be approached from any really perspective or any word. We may take a word, only one word that is there, and we may just expand through that word. The frequency is so refined. This ecstasy of fondness is exactly like you said, this refinement that he was able to transmit through his poems, the beautiful Hafez, but also the mundane form that he himself was like in his body, but also in his manifestation. So also I love this aspect, like you said, the heaven on earth. I mean, these ecstatics like Ananda Maima that we spoke about her, and himself the same. I mean, they are so high spirits, such a refined frequency, but in such a human body and with human manifestations. And this is really, for me, wow, something amazingly beautiful. What I would bring here is about the way how Richard described him as being the tongue of the unknown. So when I listened to that, I was like, wow, it's exactly the energy of Jinky 48, activated by the sun until tomorrow. So this is line 6 right now. So it's exactly this energy of the unknown, of I don't know. It's this dilemma, you know. How will I unfold myself today or in the following minute or exactly in this instant, you know? So what fascinated me as well while listening and also reading some of his poems is like Richard also highlights is the rhythm. I mean, you can feel it in English, but also like in Farsi. I loved a lot when I listened to Richard reading in Farsi, you know. So the rhythm of the poems, it's like the frequency, the connection, so high connection that Hafez had when he just transmitted, because like Liana said, his poems, are a transmission itself. So it's like he was transmitted somehow. He was a channel. So I could feel the rhythm while Richard was reading, and also while Feramaz was reading that man from Iran whom I met in person in St. Petersburg when we did the opening of the Seventh Seal together with Richard, and it's really such a warm man, such a warm and also so refined man. So I was honored to meet him, and at a cup of tea. Yes. So maybe it's also my lines 4 that I have in my profile that are connected a lot with the rhythm. Is my line 4 in SQ, it's my line 4 also in radiance and in purpose. And I'm really very fond of the rhythm in my life as well. So anything that I love to do, sooner or later I discover that there is a rhythm there that I like a lot. In order to unfold that thing with my from my heart, from my essence. So when I listen to Richard telling about it and reading in that rhythm in Farsi, I could feel it even deeper. And another idea that I bring here from the richness of the ideas of the transmission is that the depth of the inspiration from which Hafez brought the poems, because Richard said it's something even beyond teaching, even beyond that depth. It's like archetypes themselves. That's exactly from the source. So yeah, it's really beautiful, and also it's how it makes me feel when I listen or when I read, these poems. It's like I am transported, like I am driving right now, but I'm transported somehow by the car. I mean, who is driving here? So for the moment, I think I am complete. I would let more space for you to share about whatever you feel inspired to, maybe about the poet in you, maybe about how you connect with that inspiration that really is becoming a transmission through you, or maybe Hafez himself, or maybe about Rumi, or about something that really feels that in terms of frequency has a connection with the topic of today. Or maybe, I don't know, any idea from this material that was for you something so pleasant and so opening and so transforming that you would like to share with us. So thank you so much. I'm complete for the moment, and thank you for receiving me. I'm so curious to listen to your shares.
Thank you, Claudia. So I'm so happy you've met Richard's Persian friend or Iranian friend, but for me, it's like all that space is like the old, mystical, rich Persia. And indeed, you said about the line 4. I find line 4 wherever it is present in the profile or in any profile, that it brings this quality of fondness. It brings this opening towards the real friend, the authentic friend, because it's an opening of the heart, and you come towards the other from this field of the line 4. You put the trust first, and you open your heart. And I find like this is the quality of the ecstatics. Like even if they don't know what the divine is like, or what encountering the divine might produce, or what might happen there, because sometimes the ecstatics are called crazy people or crazy men. In the outer world, their behavior or their talk or their demeanor might seem inappropriate sometimes. But even if this might happen, their devotion and the longing of an ecstatic for this true divine, for this fusion, for this merging with the divine is so huge that you can only step forward with trust. You can only continuously open your heart. And it is such a beautiful way of living in the end, because as a master, like there are some Richard says that the poems of Hafez are not dated, so nobody can know when, in what period of his life he created what. and but some of them shine like pearls, and he thinks that those creation, those poems are written after he had the experience of illumination. And this kind of poems bury the fruit of the understanding that everything is divine, that God is everywhere. So when you go through your life, continuously opening your heart, continuously responding to non-love with love, you live the life of an ecstatic, because it's this trust in the unknown, it's this trust in the invisible. And there is some kind of dual possibility here that Richard mentions. Like somewhere in the middle of the transmission, he talks about this beautiful princess that Hafez was most probably in love with. They had a really deep connection. She was beautiful and elegant and also educated. She also loved poetry. So they had this exchange of poems. And he says that, you can see how in one way they complete each other. There is this transmission of Richard is also a transmission about union, but how they are also different. How somehow their experience of love was different. In the case of the woman, she has written beautiful, beautiful poems, but her love went into melancholy, into longing. Her love was mostly lived in this plane. And on Hafez, at one point, his love transcended. So it wasn't only about what he connected with here, but he managed to alchemize, to transmute what his experience of love was with, his joys and the pain it came with, and transcended. And his transmission became pregnant with this connection with the bigger love, with the divine love, with the love that's beyond this plane. And also towards the end of this audio, Richard mentions about the wine being a huge symbol in the Sufi lineage, and the wine is ecstasy, can bring the ecstasy, but the wine is used by the drunk and also by the lover. And there is a very beautiful parallel made of what happens. And I took it as a symbol of what happens when we manage to alchemize, to deeply feel the experience and alchemize it and become the lover, compared to what happens when we just drink and become addicted of a certain state, and we become somehow unconscious, more and more unconscious, instead of becoming more and more awake. So it's this transmission of Richard for me has so many layers. So this is why it's actually quite hard to talk about it. It was obvious that even for Richard, it was a really, really deep and full of synchronicities and full of richness and nurturing journey. And I kept wondering, like, where in my life I don't see the friend, where the friend is there and I don't actually see it. And for a while now, I think for the past year, I have also some devotional archetypes in my profiles, and I have this alignment towards, what the beloved means or what sacred union means. But for a while now, I'm just looking for friends, for what the friend means, for how this world and the people in it can be experienced as a warm and joyful and supportive place. How can I let out more of my kindness, more of my support towards the others? So it was a really interesting shift in my life as well, to go from this longing for the beloved, or for the a sacred love, or for the union that can be even between my inner masculine or feminine, towards discovering the friend and the friendliness and the fondness that is present in our human experience and in this world. So I also invite you to speak. I know some of you sometimes speak through poetry. So I just, even if, we're talking about the unknown today and the invisible. So even if you feel like there's nothing peculiar to share, just come along and let's be friends here up on the stage. Thank you. Hello, Gia. Did I get your name correctly?
Good morning, Liana. Good morning, Claudia. Yes, Liana, you did.
Great. Welcome.
You did. Thank you. Welcome. You've really, really touched my heart so deeply this morning. I love the words of Hafez. I have for years, and one of my favorite quotes of his is, "How do I listen to others? As if everyone were my most revered teacher, speaking to me her cherished last words." And it's a quote that I bring in a lot, because I just like what you were speaking to about how, we're here to really be in presence with the other. And there were so many different key things that you and Claudia have been speaking about this morning, that different threads that have been going through me. So hopefully I'll be able to get them all together and not ramble. But I was born and raised in the Baha'i faith, and that's where my name comes from. I was named after Baha'u'llah's firstborn daughter, and when I came across Rumi through the faith, and then later on Hafez, I felt this incredible love that was there. And yet this love that I've had for all creatures and people has always been so misconstrued. And it gets turned into sexual love or needy love or all these other things that love isn't, or it is, but it's not love like I've always felt it to be. And it's always like confounded me, like, why can't people just be in love with each other? Like, what, there's so many barriers, like Rumi talks about, there's so many barriers to love, and we're here to kind of soften all those barriers and to let the love that we are just be. And yeah, it was fantastic to come across Richard and his speaking of the line 4. And I'm a 49-4 in my son, and I've got 11 line 4s in my human design body graph, and quite a few in my hologenetic profile. And so when I came across that, I was like, oh, that's why I've been in this friendliness and this love. And it's been misconstrued because not everybody's a line 4. Of course, So it was like I was able to soften even more, going, it's okay. It's okay to be misconstrued. It's okay that other people don't get it because they've got their thing to be. And in the ecstatics, when I downloaded them a few years ago, and it was just this outpouring of gratitude that was there in each of the teachings. Oh, you've put it up at the top link. That's fantastic. Yeah, it was just like this outpouring of love. And one last little tidbit: the other day I was out raking leaves in the garden. It's springtime here. We're at the other end of your autumn, and where the leaves are just like coming down because it's so dry, and there was a lot of leaves and a lot of work in the garden. And I was out there raking and listening to music, and the Carpenters song came on, and I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is, you know, about this love that's come into her life. And I stopped in that moment and I listened to the song, and I realized that the love that I have inside of me is this love that, you know, we came about for, which is to love oneself. And it's not vanity, it's just love of oneself. And I was so like deeply in this love of self that for my early life I didn't have, because I was so in all the mistakes that I'd gone through. And so it was just this really amazing sort of movement through my life, and looking at it going, it's all perfect. All of it is perfect. And that's the love that I want everybody to have, is looking at their life and going, it's all perfect. All those trials, all those experiences, all those lessons, that heartache, they're all there just to bring us to a place of more love. And as you know, Richard says about sharing or meeting non-love with love. Yeah, it's such an amazing gift to be human and to do this and to have this experience. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for this room and for bringing in this incredible presence for love. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, Dia, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much for being here and for coming to share. And even though I'm still in the car, I'm really transported, as I told you before. And the frequency that pours through you into the common field, it's something amazingly refined. It's so beautiful. Thank you for speaking like you were telling to us a poem, you know. Also, it was a certain rhythm in your share. I could feel it from all my line 4 and from all the crystals of my body. So, so beautiful. And you know, I was also just a little bit before you came to speak, I was also feeling inside myself what a beauty with these two hemispheres of Mother Earth, you know, while we are experiencing, like you said, autumn, so the leaves falling in the other part, you are experiencing like the leaves appearing. So it's like, wow, like a beautiful torus of energy, of life, like falling in love, like you said, continuously with more life of love, you know. So, wow, it's so beautiful. There is one question that popped up somehow while you were speaking. I was listening, I started to listen this question: when do I become a poet in my life? Because I feel that we are all poets in a way, and every time when, like you said, we realize that we already are in love with ourselves, with our divine selves. So those moments, there are moments of deep contact with our divine self. It's already a poetic energy inside us. And if we are like courageous enough, brave enough to express exactly in that moment. That would be a poetic expression. So, wow, thank you so much, Dia, for coming, for sharing, for just being here with us. Thank you.
Oh, Claudia, I've got tears going. I met human design in 2005, and not long after that, I've been collecting heart rocks and photographing heart rocks, and everything was completely guided. Me doing these collecting and photographing the heart rocks, and I went basically ecstatic for 4 days, and 80 poems came out, and each one to a particular heart rock. And the poetry, every title was Love is Me. And so your words and your projector, right? I feel like they've kind of hit that G center. So thank you. Thank you for that confirmation. I haven't had the courage to bring them out. But I'm hearing you.
Wow, so beautiful. Yeah, the emotional projector. Oh, thank you. What a beauty.
Thank you, Dia and Claudia. Dia, if you happen to have one of the poems on hand, or if you would like to share it, it could be a good start here, if you feel like it.
Yes.
Because I also have this perception of a really outpouring of love and heart-opening frequency that came through you. Maybe it's your, you know, bunch of fourth lines, or maybe it's your experiences related to love, and maybe it's your devotion. I don't know. There's something really, really deep and beautiful there. And I would really love to listen to one of these poems if you feel like it.
Okay. Thank you. I actually got one printed on my business card early this year. It's called New Foundations. Your guiding voice whispers softly, Love is me, love is me. I don't believe you. My old patterns have such strong foundations. Build new ones, build new ones, I hear you say.
What a pearl. Beautiful. Bright pearl. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was so gorgeous and precious. I hope you will share more of your work. It reminded me also, I felt the rhythm that Claudia was talking about, the poetry, like and also the transformation that comes when you really connect to the heart of it. So maybe, your journey of finding the heart in stones, it's actually a journey of getting the stone aside, even from our souls, from our human conditioning. This is what I see now. Like, we are conditioned, we seem of stone, but there's a heart there that waits to be awakened. So thank you. That was very precious. And I'm happy to have Roberta on the stage soon. Hi, Roberta. Welcome.
Hello, it's so beautiful to be here, surrounded with all this beautiful love. And I just feel so held and honored and so delighted to be here and hold that space. And I just feel I'm quite shy to speak. But I just couldn't help when I just felt this deep calling to speak a bit. And in August, my husband and I shared our 40th wedding anniversary, and we went to this beautiful little beach. We live on the west coast of Canada, and we sat there with my daughter and her partner, and we collected 40 heart-shaped rocks. And it was just, I just couldn't help but share this when Dia, you shared your stories about collecting heart rocks. So it was such a beautiful, beautiful moment. And it was also such a beautiful to share it with my daughter and her partner. And she was just pregnant. And it's been a very big journey for my daughters and fertility. And I've been doing such deep prayer and ceremony and holding so much light and love to this little soul to join our family. And I just feel so much gratitude to this community to hold me and allow my love to be safe to share and safe to hold in myself too. And I hold universal love as my evolution, and my life's work is delight and ecstasy, and it's just so beautiful to allow this love to really come out and be safe to be sharing in the world. And thank you everyone for listening, and I just feel so again blessed for this the way that you both hold this I'm forgetting this Clubhouse room is so beautiful. So thank you so much. Much love. Thank you.
Oh, Roberta, thank you so much. I hear you, I receive you. Hug you, have you in my arms. So, wow, it's something so beautiful. It's amazingly beautiful when we just allow ourselves just to be and to let this beautiful essence that we have inside to merge with the essences of others. So this is such an ecstasy. I also have Jinky 46 in my vocation, and IQ in IQ I have 25. So I feel them. I'm pulsating with them. The universal love and this ecstasy, and I feel that I am in love with life in me and in others, and I feel you and Dia and everyone. So it's something amazingly beautiful. It takes courage as well. Like Richard says, it's not something that anybody could do, to be so open and so transparent, to really share private things and intimate things with others that maybe, you haven't met. So it's, but we know that we have met. We know that we are like connected, and I also want to thank to the spirit of Hafez, because he is with us and he is really welcoming these shares. So beautiful. So warm hug to your daughter as well, and to the whole family. And may these poetic frequencies come into you and into your space and into your family and into your relationships. Roberta and Dia and Mbali, who is with us now on the stage, and anybody who is on the space as well in the room. Thank you so much. Love you all.
Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Roberta. Before inviting Mubali to speak, happy to have you with us, Mubali. Roberta, that share of yours really touched my heart. I can feel the emotion in your voice and the pour of love from these beautiful celebrations you recently have. And also happy birthday. I know it's not been long since the 46 was active, and every time this transit comes for me, it's also a joy, and I'm happy, grateful for all the people that are activating this code in the world. And such a beautiful celebration for you and your husband and your family. And when you said about, gathering these 40 heart-shaped stones, I remember about the book. It's the book that's called The 40 Rules of Love. And it's also about the life of Hafez. It's a kind of novel, not exactly a historical account, but it's a beautiful book. And it's written by Elif Shafak. And that came into my mind when you said about the 40 heartstones, the 40 rules of love. So may you enjoy and may you transmit all that's best and all that you feel most deeply and most lovingly and most true, that to cascade towards your family and the generations of families that come after you. Bali, I invite you to speak. So curious to hear your share.
Thank you, Liana and Claudia. That was so beautiful, Dia and Roberta. Thank you. What a such a feminine water space I feel today. It's lovely. Thank you. Also, really feeling this time of the well within my own body, within all of my waters. I got an opportunity this morning to really connect with my not knowing inside. And I felt a little bit disappointed with my reaction. So I'm reflecting from what these beautiful women have shared and feeling compassion for myself as we do so much work, as we really work these keys and work our sequences. And then I find I often feel a bit of disappointment when I know that I did not respond from my gift. But having said that, the gentleness that comes with welcoming, learning, and listening in to where this alchemy is happening. And for me, in my HarRa, in my womb, I'm really feeling the turning and the ocean, really with Mama Yemanja right now. And bringing peace to my waters. I also wrote an inspired piece with this well and sitting in my seat in the ocean. And I have shared poetry before, but this one is so tender. And I think it was Claudia who was saying it really invited me up when, we are strangers essentially, and how intimate we are. And so I'd love to share this piece with you all, coming from a really intimate place. And I'm feeling so held, but also a little bit raw today. So I'm also welcoming any tears that come to wash hearts. Listen, deep from within womanhood, wisdom rivers come to counsel. In my lap comes to sit ego and rejection. I am given a mirror forged by Pachamama's yoni, and I find in the reflection, she says, look, truth, roots, and the origins of my own water. In my lap comes to sit the masculine and feminine, mine, yours, hers, ours, and that which I forgot I said yes to. I see the terror of rejection and self-destructive cycles of thinking I'm not good enough. I feel the internal dismemberment of not being chosen and loved. I look closer. But the wrath of my feminine conjures cauldrons of fury and desolation in my lap. And I am witch, so I add my own scorn to the black pot. In my lap sits cruelty. In my lap sits forgiveness. Santa Maria, Ish Cacao, hold up a mirror of truth for deeper reflecting and some much needed mental surgery. I welcome her medicine to shatter my illusions and surrender my attachments. I feel in my lap, my lips stiff, and my womb longing for purpose and life. The roots of my own tree begin growing from my lap. I look closer because I know what happens when I don't listen. Here comes sitting in my lap now, addiction. My masculine feeds off the distraction, and my feminine rots in the pain. Look at me, but don't. Leave me, but don't. So I look closer. And now, my ancestors come to sit in my lap and on top of the earth's breast. I carry the responsibility of sitting here, they say, completely. I know, and I know my body is an external reflection of my soul. I know. Look closer, they say. I know. Sangoma is my soul too. And Mama Africa's yoni is mine too. My grandmothers come to forgive aborted babies, and my grandfathers come ready for the pink fire forged by rainbow rose petals. Look closer. I feel now the Naga come to sit in my lap, the ones that shapeshift and sail between my own waters and those from beneath the realm below the river. Reflecting me, the serpents show me true consciousness and change. consequence of not listening comes to talk through them in the language only Kin can speak. So I fall in the waters and I'm on my knees. And I see there in that reflection that I am sitting in the middle. And so I sit in my own lap, deep from within the womanhood, wisdom waters. I am complete in the entry of this embodiment. I look in the mirror and I am. I look in the mirror and we are. Thank you so much for receiving me.
Bali. There was silence. Thank you. Such a potent transmission. The only thing I feel to say, because you were mentioning the wine, what you've just shared seemed like a decantation, like a really old wine that's been well kept and refined and loved. There's a lot of transmission flows there that came to share the stories at this table of friends. And thank you for your opening and vulnerability and the potency of the medicine that you've just shared. Thank you.
So much grace. The field is full of grace. It's full of light. It's full of inspiration. It's unspeakable. It's something like really living it and bathing in this beauty. Really, I mean, I don't feel to add any word. The transmission is so deep and so loving, and we are so blessed, so blessed. Thank you so much, Bali, and thank you so much, Roberta and Dia, and everyone who's here to hold the space and to just be who we came to be. And you know, these spaces, wow, are just places where we bathe in our merged essences. So beautiful. I propose you to just let 1 minute or so of silence to just open even more to receive and be received afterwards by others to whom we touch. And waiting for you in 2 weeks' time in this space of Contemplative Hearth, together with Liana and maybe with another beautiful soul to co-host. We will see.
Thank you so much love and blessings, dears, and enjoy the morning, the day, the evening, the night, wherever you are and we are all. Deep, deep love.